All right. Well, hey, good morning, everybody. I was walking around the school today, and I was just thinking, we have such a beautiful campus. We have beautiful mountains in the backdrop that are snow-capped, which I think is super cool. We have, a relatively new school, nice facilities. But I think the main thing that makes our school awesome is all the people inside of it. So thanks for being here. I think we have awesome students, awesome faculty, and I've loved being here at Salem Hills. Today we have a few announcements that important things are coming up that we want to share with you, and then an important topic that I will discuss here in a second. So our first announcement is about Boys State, which is kind of a confusing name, but basically it's like kind of like a government, like a state government type camp. So it takes place at Weber State, and it is from June 8th through the 12th, so it's this summer. Cool things about it, you get a little bit of opportunity to do like mock elections, mock trials, things like that. You learn a little bit more about government. Also, you get 3 credits from Weber State if you go, so there's an opportunity to get college credit. Those college credits can also transfer and count for government credit here at the high school. So those are just some things that are aware, a good opportunity if you're interested in learning more about government or having that experience. If you have questions, stop in the counseling office. We'd be happy to answer those for you. The deadline to apply for Boys State is April 30th. So it's coming up here fairly quick. There's also Girls State. We've had a lot of people apply for that. And so I think we got the word out on that pretty well. But we need some more boys. So come on down if you're interested in that. The next thing is probably one thing that's on lots of people's minds, not just students, but also teachers. And that's about schedules. So as you know, we've done a lot of work to put in the requests. Students, you have put in your requests for next year, and we've got kind of all those numbers. From here, basically, we put everything into the computer, and the computer makes a schedule. Those schedules, we're hoping they'll be created in the first week of May. That's when we're believing that they'll actually be all put together and ready to go. So we just want you to know that's when that's going to happen, and we're encouraging you to check those schedules the second week in May. We know that's a long ways off. We just want to make sure you have a heads up and put you at ease a little bit there. So the schedules are being made. So that's exciting. The next one is those of you that have applied to BYU, you should have received like an acceptance letter, or you've known that if you've been accepted or not. Those of you that were not accepted, there is another option. It's the BYU Salt Lake Center is what it's called. And basically it's an option to take classes that will help you either get into BYU in the future, or if you're planning on going somewhere else, that's okay too. They'll transfer to different schools. So if you have questions about that, if you weren't accepted into BYU, but you still are looking for an experience that's like BYU, there's information that we have for you about that in the counseling center as well. So you come on down and we can answer those questions for you. The last big announcement is the career fair. So there's a career fair a week from Friday. So Friday the 28th, it'll be during lunch. This is a great opportunity for you to actually go around and get information on different jobs. So that's one thing that you can do if you're looking for a summer job or any kind of job. There'll be information there. We'll have different businesses and people from the community here to do that. Again, that's Friday the 28th during lunch. So I think that's pretty much everything as far as announcements go. And what I decided I wanted to talk about today is what's called positive psychology. So I've been having a lot of conversations with students about this because some of you might have noticed that's a class that we're going to offer next year. And so people had questions about that. And I was having a conversation with the student on kind of that in general. And I don't know, I guess you could say like the state of society. We were having an interesting conversation. And basically what we were talking about is there's newer research in psychology that talks about what makes people happy and successful. And kind of the current, consensus you could say is that the way to be happy is to be successful, right? And the student and I were talking about, they're saying, I have to go to college and I have to do this and I have to have this really good job and I have to have different things. And basically what the studies have shown is that success is not what makes you happy. Right? So getting straight A's isn't going to make you happy, or getting into a big college isn't necessarily going to make you happy. But that happiness actually will make you more successful. So there's kind of some questions on that, and we've got a video clip that we're going to show that kind of explains that a little bit more, and then I'll go into a little bit of detail of ways that we can be more happy and in turn be more successful. So we'll play that video clip and go from there.
What if you could improve your productivity by 30% without sacrificing your happiness? What if it turned out that becoming happier was actually the key? After spending over a dozen years at Harvard University, I wanted to test the latest scientific theories of happiness and performance in the business world, outside of the lab and the ivory tower. Over the past 2 years, I've traveled to speak and research in 42 different countries. And amazingly, what I found at almost all of these schools and companies is that they follow the same formula. And that formula is, if you work harder, then you'll be more successful. And if you're successful, well, then you'll be happier. What we're finding in the field of positive psychology is that this formula is broken. Part of that has to do with how we define success. Every time we're successful, we merely move the goalpost of what success looks like. So for example, if we hit our sales target last quarter, we merely change what that sales target is for the next quarter. And if happiness is on the opposite side of that success, every time you change what success looks like, happiness gets pushed over the horizon. But more importantly, what we've discovered in the field of positive psychology is that the formula is actually backwards. Our brains work in the opposite way. Happiness actually fuels success, not the other way around. If you can find a way to get your brain to become positive, your success rates will increase, and as a result, work will become more productive, enjoyable, and rewarding. So if we can change the formula, if we can reverse it, then we can maximize our brain's potential and our performance will increase dramatically. Not to mention the fact that we'll be happier right now in the present. I can imagine that you might be skeptical about all of this. Could happiness really make a difference to our work? Well, the research shows that it actually does. Let me explain.
Awesome. So there's a little bit of information for you on kind of the statistics or the science behind that. But essentially, we need to make sure that we're happy so we can be successful. So the question then is, how do you be more happy? And we're already doing a lot of those things here at the school. Positive in the present is basically what it comes down to. Research shows that if you focus on things that you're grateful for or positive experiences you have, you'll be more happy. So that's my challenge to you guys. Continue to be positive in the present. You'll be more happy. You'll be more successful. And go Skyhawks.